Well, before we start with some examples, I want to point out something very important about playing, about how I'm going to play all chords. We already know that if I play the C major chord, I can play in the right hand these voicings, so C, E, and G, but I can also use E, G, C, okay, but also keeping the same note in the bass, or G, C, and E. So these are different voicing of the same chord. This is always C major chord. And for this reason, since it is easier, I'm going to use different voicing by playing different chord succession. So this was something very important that I want to point out before starting. So for example, if I want to play the progression from the first to the fourth degree, rather than playing these two voicing, I can also use this other one, in which rather than playing the fourth degree chord in this position, so maybe the most common one, I can play this in this position. So I start from C and then F and A. This is always F major chord in root position, since I'm playing F in the bass. Okay, so these are only different voicing of the same chord. So let's start from the first example, in which we're going to build a chord progression by using our rational side, so by alternating different group chords. So let's start from C major key, and let's start from the first degree chord, so C major chord, which is a restful chord, okay, or with a restful roll. This is a tonic group chord, of course. So since I want to alternate different groups, I can switch to the, for example, to the dominant group, so I can play the dominant chord, so the fifth degree chord. In this case, I will have a dynamic roll. Then, to alternate, to have another group, I can switch to the subdominant group, so for example, I can play the fourth degree chord. Okay, so up to now I have alternated the tonic group, dominant group, and subdominant group. Then at this point, I can use again the tonic group, but rather than playing the first degree, I can use another chord, so the second chord of the tonic group, so the sixth degree, okay? And then at this point, I can again play a dominant group chord, so dominant chord, and then I end with a tonic group chord. So I have first, fifth, fourth, sixth, fifth and first, so which are C major chord, G major chord, F major chord, A minor chord, and then G major chord and C major. So tonic group, dominant group, subdominant, tonic group, dominant group, and tonic group. Okay, so I have alternated all the different groups. It is very important, and this is something very essential that I want to point out, that since we have to use either our rational side but also our instinct, we have, once we have tried this progression, it is important that we check it. So we use our instinct, our ear, to check what we have built with our rational side. So in this way we can use them together by obtaining the best result. I want to point out something very important about the previous example, in which I starting from the first degree, then fifth degree, and then I switched to the fourth degree, so subdominant group. So then the following group, it was the tonic group chord. In that case, I used the sixth degree chord, which is which is one of the two chords of the tonic group. But since also the first degree chord is the tonic group chord, I should also switch from the fourth degree to the first degree. They are both, so sixth degree and first degree are both tonic group chords. So I can use this second solution, for example. But if I use this other solution, so rather than switching from fourth to the sixth, I switch from the fourth to the first, I have a stronger sense of ending. So in this case, I have I really have a cadence, because fourth, first is it is a plagal cadence, of course. So in this case, I will have a stronger sense of conclusion. And since I want to go on with other chords, I decided to use the 6th degree chord. So I'm alternating different groups, but in this case I will have a weaker sense of rest, so a weaker sense of ending. Okay. In fact, so the only cadence that I have is the perfect cadence, which is made up of the 5th and 1st, so the 2 last chords. So in all these chord progression, I have only one cadence. Okay, this was for the case of C major, but let's try with another key. So for example, A major key. And again, we're going to alternate different groups. So let's start from the 1st degree chord, so A major, so tonic group. Then we can go to the dominant group chord, so 5th degree, so E major chord, and then I can go again. I can switch again to the tonic group chord, to a tonic group chord, but rather than switching again to A major, I have already heard it. I can I can obtain some variety by switching to the 2nd chord of tonic group, so 6th degree chord, which is made up of F sharp minor chord. And then so I have used tonic group, dominant group, then again tonic group, then I again use the subdominant group. So for example, I can use the 4th degree chord, so D major chord. I'm playing F sharp, A and D, and then I can end again by using the tonic group chord. In this case I use the strongest one, so A major chord, 1st degree chord. So in this case, let's try this again. 1st, 5th, 6th, 4th, and then 1st. Okay, so tonic group, dominant group, tonic group, subdominant group, and tonic group.